Jesse McBee and Alli are now happily married, though their journey to marriage had its challenges. As their wedding approached, the couple experienced a range of emotions, as seen in a preview for the McBee dynasty, Real American Cowboy Season 2, Episode 7. In the video, brothers Stephen Jr., Cole, Jesse, and Braden McBee are in Nashville with friends, including their trusted farmhand, Jake Denton. Stephen Jr. asks Jesse if he's nervous about his upcoming wedding. To Stephen Jr. and Jake's surprise, Jesse admits he is anxious. When asked why, Jesse struggles to articulate his feelings. "I don't know, it's just a lot, man," he shrugs. "Oh, I can imagine that," Jake responds, nodding. "I think it's just like the permanence of it all, you know what I mean," Jesse remarks. Elsewhere on the bus, Cole discusses his brother's long-term relationship with Alli. "Both him and Alli met in high school," he shares. "I was 18 years old enjoying my freedom. He never even had that experience of being a single person in college." Later, Jesse shares his true feelings about the upcoming wedding in a confessional. "This wedding's really weighing on me. There's a lot of stress," Jesse says. "Seems like all my brothers and my dad can talk about is things related to legal agreements before marriage and the challenges couples sometimes face, and I'm kind of really worried," he adds. Jesse McBee and Alli pre-wedding discussions. This preview isn't the only instance of Jesse's pre-wedding stress. On Episode 4, he and Alli discussed wedding attire, which brought up some lingering issues in their relationship. The conversation started when Jesse's mom, Christy McBee, called Alli while helping Jesse choose his outfit for the ceremony. Christy asked Alli if she preferred Jesse in a bow tie or a regular tie. Alli said Jesse could pick, but he mentioned he'd prefer a bolo tie. Alli agreed, saying Jesse could wear what he wanted, and then told Christy they had discussed Jess's suit color a few days prior. After observing their interaction, Christy attributed their disagreements to their separate living arrangements. "Lately, Alli and Jesse are a bit more prone to bickering," Christy said in an episode interview. "From experience, married couples need to share a home, and they need to be able to share each other's day. You can't get used to not being together." Do Jesse McBee and Alli live together? On Season 2, Episode 2 of McBee Dynasty, Alli and Jesse explained their living situation. Alli stays in the couple's new city house, while Jesse stays in the country to be close to the farm. The two homes are an hour away from each other, creating both physical and emotional distance. When the pair discussed their future together on Episode 3, Jesse made it clear that Alli needed to embrace country living and move onto the farm with him. "And if I did not want to do that?" Alli asked. "Is that gonna be, like, a fundamental disagreement for you?" To that, Jesse responded, "I would say yeah." He elaborated on his feelings in a confessional. "I don't feel comfortable getting married if we're not going to be able to live together," Jesse declared. For now, the couple's housing situation remains undecided. Tune into the McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboy Season 2, Episode 7, airing August 11, to get the full update on Jesse's relationship with Alli. In the meantime, get caught up on another McBee boys' relationship challenges. The roar of the bus engine was a dull thrum beneath Jesse's boots, a counterpoint to the wilder rhythm of his heart. Nashville, a city of honky-tonk dreams and neon-lit anxieties, whizzed past the window. Around him, the familiar camaraderie of his brothers and Jake Denton, their trusted farmhand, was a comfort, yet it couldn't entirely dispel the knot tightening in his stomach. "Nervous, Jess?" Stephen Jr.'s voice cut through the drone, a mischievous glint in his eye. Jesse managed a shrug, a gesture that felt inadequate to contain the swirling tempest within. "Yeah, I guess so." The admission surprised even himself. He usually prided himself on his stoicism, a trait honed by years on the ranch. Jake, ever the perceptive one, raised an eyebrow. "Oh, what's got you spooked, cowboy?" Jesse tried to articulate it, the words catching in his throat like burrs. I don't know, it's just a lot, man. He ran a hand through his hair, a nervous habit. I think it's just like the permanence of it all, you know what I mean. Jake nodded slowly, a knowing look on his face. Oh, I can imagine that. Elsewhere on the bus, Cole, ever the observer of his brothers' lives, weighed in on Jesse's situation. Both him and Alli met in high school, he shared with a friend, a faint smirk playing on his lips. I was 18 years old enjoying my freedom. He never even had that experience of being a single person in college. There was a hint of something unsaid in Cole's tone, perhaps a mixture of envy and a touch of concern for the path Jesse had chosen so early. Later, in the quiet solitude of a confessional booth, the veneer of cowboy toughness peeled away. This wedding's really weighing on me. There's a lot of stress, Jesse admitted, his voice rough with an unfamiliar vulnerability. The camera's unblinking eye seemed to magnify his unease. Seems like all my brothers and my dad can talk about is things related to legal agreements before marriage and the challenges couples sometimes face, and I'm kind of really worried. The specter of prenups and marital discord, whispered about by the men in his family, cast a long, ominous shadow over his impending vows. The pre-wedding jitters weren't a sudden onset. Weeks earlier, a seemingly innocuous conversation about wedding attire had unearthed deeper fissures in his relationship with Alli. His mom, Christy McBee, had called Alli while Jesse was trying on suits, her cheerful voice a stark contrast to the simmering tension that soon erupted. "Bow tie or regular tie, Alli?" Christy had asked, her voice crackling over the phone. Alli, ever agreeable on the surface, had said Jesse could pick. But Jesse, feeling a surge of stubbornness, had mentioned his preference for a bolo tie. A bolo tie. Alli's voice had held a note of surprise, though she quickly recovered. Okay, sure, you wear what you want. Then, almost as an aside to Christy, she added, we already discussed his suit color a few days ago, Mom. The subtle emphasis on already discussed hadn't escaped Jesse, a faint echo of their prior disagreement. Christy, with the wisdom of a seasoned ranch wife, had picked up on the discord. Lately, Alli and Jesse are a bit more prone to bickering, Christy observed in an episode interview, her brow furrowed with concern. From experience, married couples need to share a home, and they need to be able to share each other's day. You can't get used to not being together. Her words had landed with the weight of truth. The distance between them, both physical and emotional, had been a quiet hum beneath the surface of their long relationship. The root of this discord lay in their unusual living arrangements, a topic they'd addressed earlier in the season. Alli, with her city leanings and a desire for a different pace, had settled into their new city house. Jesse, tied to the land and the rhythms of the farm, remained in the country. An hour's drive separated their two worlds, a chasm that felt wider with each passing day. Episode 3 had seen their future come to a head. Jesse, feeling the weight of his family's expectations and his own deep-seated connection to the land, had laid down an ultimatum. All I needed to embrace country living, to move onto the farm with him. And if I did not want to do that? Alli had asked, her voice surprisingly steady, though her eyes held a flicker of apprehension. Is that gonna be, like, a fundamental disagreement for you? Jess's response had been swift, unwavering. I would say yeah. He'd watched her face, searching for a flicker of understanding, a sign of compromise. He'd elaborated later, in the confessional, the stark truth of his feelings laid bare. I don't feel comfortable getting married if we're not going to be able to live together. For him, marriage was an intertwining of lives, a shared existence rooted in the same soil. The weight of their disparate worlds, the unspoken fears, and the looming decision about their living situation had all converged, adding to the immense pressure Jesse felt. The wedding, meant to be a joyous culmination of their love, felt more like a grand public negotiation, a final test of their compatibility. As the bus rolled on through the national night, Jesse found himself wondering if love, no matter how deep, could bridge such a chasm. The permanence he craved, the shared life he envisioned, seemed to hang precariously in the balance, waiting for Alli's decision to truly make their two separate lives into one.